Well, I'm hoping we have left that last episode as far behind as possible from ever doing, maybe not again, but for a while.
You mean talking about anal sex?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Just let's leave that far behind, way back there.
Way back behind.
Way back behind.
Put it behind me, baby.
Sure.
Well, last week was a challenge for you.
It was.
I mean, on all kinds of levels. And nobody needs to know your dirty secrets about your snowflakiness last week. But you were definitely struggling, and I love you for it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm.
And I do appreciate you kind of like taking up the rear.
All right, we should stop now. We could stop. I think I started something I shouldn't have.
Okay, if you don't know me by now, then you know that, like, come on now, dude.
I know. So check this out, right? So Kari listened, obviously, to our episode, you know, my wife. And this is where I'm going to tell you, she was a little mad with me about it.
I love that.
And she was like, so we're not doing anal sex anymore?
See, I knew she was going to be like, what in the butt is exactly what she responded.
She was like, wait, so... what the hell? We're not doing it. Like, she texted me all caps. We're not doing anal sex anymore. And I'm like, I mean, that wasn't in anywhere in the near future. But she's like, why? You want to do it? She's like, well, not right now, but you know.
Well, okay, yeah. I mean, I really think that you guys should always keep all of your doors open. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. But since the show,
even the rear door?
Yes. I mean, back it in. Beep. Beep, beep.
You were saying?
So one of our listeners actually sent me an email about a term that we didn't talk about on the show in reference to you guys doing anal sex to preserve your virginities. And there's this Urban Dictionary at its best. It's called saddlebacking. It's the term for the phenomenon of Christian teens engaging in unprotected anal sex in order to preserve their virginities. And it's named after the Saddleback Church, which, by the way,
home of Reverend Rick Warren.
Yes. He's like a proponent of abstinence education. Oh my God, because butt fucking isn't actual sex. What? Come on. I'm not falling for it. But
so we basically saddlebacked.
You saddlebacked your asshole to the altar, and then she's wanting to saddle back. This is amazeballs.
We didn't even know what saddlebacking was. The phenomenon of Christian people engaging in unprotected anal sex in order to preserve their virginities. Now,
those are the exact words I just said.
Yes, I had to read it again because wow.
Yeah. Well, wow. I mean, it is what it is. So we're going to be...
Can I get that in a sentence, please? Yes, you may. After attending the purity ball, Heather and Bill were saddlebacking all night because she's saving herself from marriage. Hashtag anal, hashtag evangelical, hashtag Christian.
Hashtag Reverend Rick Warren. This is your Almost There podcast. Oh, Jesus God.
All right,
well, nonetheless,
let's be done with
because you wanted to put the anal sex behind us, but I really wanted to throw out that terminology. So thank you to our listener who sent an email to us in regards to that, because that's really, really funny. And that just means that you guys are kind of listening to the things that we're saying, which is awesome. But today our topic is masturbation, which is one that John doesn't like. But when he came into the pod studio, we still don't have a fucking name for this room.
I like the dungeon.
I know the dungeon because it's super, super dark in here.
And it's weird, and it's kind of cold, but it also can be kind of hot in here.
Like today, it's all hot and sweaty, and we've got like boob sweat going on. It's really great. But when John came into the studio today, I had taken all of my like vibrators and toys and lubes and cleaners, and I put them all over his desk. And he came and he's like, I'm going to have to sanitize all of this before we do a damn thing, Lyndsay.
Oh, but they're clean. Oh, yeah. Sure. They're really clean, aren't they? Oh, I'm going to trust your word. They're super clean. Your lube and your whatever you call your masturbator is so clean.
Your masturbator. You're a masturbator. So, and right when we sat down just now, he goes, so how's your libido over there, Lyndsay? And I'm like, always high.
Always.
Hello. Always high.
So we're going to talk about masturbation.
We sure are.
First of all, thank you so much for listening to Your Almost Bare podcast.
Yes, this is the podcast about real life stories on sex, love, health, and all the dirty secrets in between.
Yes, it is. So we're talking about masturbation. I like to call this episode Masturbation Proclamation.
Or Masturbation Nation.
Oh, I like mine better, but hey, that works too.
I like yours better than mine only because Proclamation makes much more sense for you being Catholic.
All right, so I got a confession to make. I'm Catholic, so I guess I got used to confessing. I got into masturbation, I think, when I was in high school. Well, not I think, I know. High school.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe, possibly. I don't know. I heard about it, kids on the baseball team, and I was, again, as innocent as I was then as I am now, from what I hear from a lot of people tell me. So I didn't know much about masturbation or pornography because they both kind of came into my life at the same time.
There was like a crossover?
It was a crossover. So
Yeah.
I remember this one guy was on my baseball team. He was like, hey, yo, my nickname at the time, I'm going to make another one here. My nickname at the time was Kirby because I was big, thick.
Okay.
I was a little...
Like dick thick?
No, like chubby wise. I was pretty
you were
chubby. I was
Okay.
chubby, and I would...
Dick thick. Yes, Lyndsay. I was talking to my high school baseball team about being dick thick.
And my teammate was like, "Oh, damn, Kirby's thick."
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Anyway, so when I would remember my cheeks would turn pink. Anyway, that's where Kirby came from. Point is, he was like, "Hey, yo, Kirby, like you should check out like all this. Have you heard of porn and all that stuff?" It was really weird dude. And I remember like one Thursday night. I remember it was a solemn night. The stars were aligned perfectly.
Oh my god.
And I opened.
Fuck, unreal. You giggle way too much.
I opened up my laptop because it's funny now. I mean, I don't know if I'm proud of it, but it's part of, I guess, my life as a high school kid. I opened up my laptop and I typed in porn. I remember.
Did you spell it right?
Porn, yes. And I hit images because I didn't know what I was looking up.
Oh, no.
And next thing you know, wow.
Right, Alice in Wonderland.
First thing I saw was a woman's vagina. I didn't even know it was a woman's vagina.
Well, okay.
I didn't really know much about the whole human women anatomy. I didn't.
Did you even know anything about your own?
I did. I did.
A little bit?
I did because after that, oh my gosh, I'm not proud of this. A spontaneous,
So okay.
feeling came about from that.
Okay, so why are you not proud of having feelings?
No, I'm okay with the feeling.
Oh.
It was the most amazing feeling ever. And
right, of course. That's why we're doing an entire show about it.
It was.
Jesus God.
It was an orgasm.
Ooh.
A spontaneous orgasm, yeah. At 14, I had no idea what it was.
Sure.
I freaked out. I actually freaked out. I was like...
Where were you?
Were
you in your bedroom?
Yeah, I was in my bedroom.
Did you have a sock?
No, I didn't know.
You didn't know what was happening?
I didn't know what was happening. It just happened. And I was like, what the heck is going on? It was like, this will be an everlasting feeling.
Oh my God. Let's get it started. Let's get it started here.
And I bring it up because that ultimately led to like, I want to revisit that feeling again.
Sure. Well, yeah.
And it was, I remember it to this day, even the first time, because it felt so damn good. And I'm not trying to obviously get raunchy into my life, but there's always that initial high that I had when I came down to when I got into.
I told you I was going to turn you into a sinner.
I know, damn it. When I got into masturbation and all that, and that was the reason why I actually brought back to that initial moment of watching porn and having that spontaneous orgasm, because I always wanted to revisit that moment, I guess, of that like, ooh, that felt really good, and
that creamy moment.
Yeah. When I was in high school, I remember, moving on, when I was in I was actually, I don't know if I was chronic, but I was close damn to it. I would actually...
A chronic masturbator?
Yeah, I would actually, in high school, I'd masturbate probably 4 or 5 times in a given day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hold on.
This is the first time I think I've told you this, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I am sweating over here so bad in this studio. Oh my God. It's like...
Is it because what I just told you?
Yes. What you told me about you masturbating is making me all hot and sweaty. No, it's just hot. It's like 90 degrees in Burbank today. And we don't have the air on because it makes noise for sound. We don't have the fan on. And we are literally like sweating in these chairs.
And talking about masturbation.
And talking about masturbation. Oh my God. I blacked out for just a second because I'm actually like completely... you just hit me with a freight train with the 4 to 5 times a day.
Did I bamboozle you again?
You totally bamboozled me.
Back-to-back episodes. No, and I'm being honest. I'm actually being honest. I actually masturbated. I believe you are. No, and I'm being very bare about that one.
Nice.
Well, almost bare because if I was bare, I'd show you. But no, that's awkward. Point is, 4 or 5 times. And
wow, how can you even get it up and come?
I was in high school. I don't know. I was in high school.
That's crazy.
I was in high school, and I didn't really get a lot of sex ed. I didn't. I got fake, really bad sex ed.
I did too.
Where it's just you had to learn, unfortunately, by the internet, and what I mean by that was by porn. And I didn't like it at all, actually, because it's been a struggle, my own sexual, journey. Because I look back and I'm like, I wish I would have actually learned about sex, like, in a good way and not feel guilty about it, because I'm in Catholic school and all that stuff. They didn't really teach that, No,
and I went to Christian school like we've talked about before.
Oh, yeah.
My sex education was just stupid.
And we talked about that. The sex education in classes in schools, especially amongst the Christian community, is just horrible because I feel like, oh, should we touch that area? Maybe not. I don't know. But it's like you're actually doing a huge disservice by not actually, I don't care if it's, coming from the Word of God or what. I'm just saying, like, talk about sex with your students and in a good focus group of like, hey, this is what this is what this does, and this is what this does.
Sure.
I mean, there's no excuse for me having to learn about sex at the age of 16, 17, or however old I wasn't 17. I was like 16, 15, 16 years old, learning sex through porn.
Yeah.
And seeing a vagina for the first time on the internet. I'm not saying I wanted to see one in real life, but you know what I mean? Like, actually, like, this is a vagina, John. This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Your penis that you have is one day going to go inside, reproduce to have a child. That's how sex is born.
That's how sex is born.
That's how sex is. No, I'm sorry.
Perfectly stated. This is how sex is born.
This is
now the new title of our episode. Okay, that's totally interesting to me. For me, like, my first time, I'm sitting over here actually thinking about it because I didn't even think that you, like we said, you just bamboozled me. I don't even, and I'm like, oh my God, that's right. I'm
actually quite enjoying it because usually I would tell you, hey, this is what's happening. This is what I'm going to kind of say. I'm actually enjoying myself, me telling you, like, hey, this is part of my life. I'm not,
Well, and you know that you're not going to get any judgment from this side of this of the studio.
I think I'm going to start actually saying, like, you know what? Just dropping bombs like that. Hey, this guy over here masturbated 4 or 5 times on a given...
Little did we know we had an Olympian in the room, ladies and gentlemen.
Gold medal!
Well, my first time masturbating and continued, like, through, like, when I was a little girl, like, probably, like, 9, because I started my period when I was 9 years old.
Wow.
So when you're, like, in 4th grade...
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, when you start your period so young, your hormones get pumped up, you start getting boobs, you start, you're getting hair in places, and that's just, you're not supposed to be starting your periods at 9 years old. You're just not supposed to be doing that. And so, and I hit it, and it doesn't even matter. Oh my God. But what ended up happening is I was like, oh, if I touch that little bean on my, my clit, and I didn't know what it was, I was like, oh my God, that feels really good. And so then I talked to a girlfriend of mine who also had started her period in elementary school, and she was giving me some hints about, like, how you can make yourself feel a little bit better in the bathtub.
You guys were 9 years old?
9 and 10 years old.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Wow.
When we were talking about it, because who talks about sex to a 9-year-old?
And you were also curious, but that part is what gets me.
Right.
9, 10 years old.
Well, because so we went to the school nurse and we talked to her about, like, how to use tampons and how to do that kind of stuff, because they don't teach that stuff to you when you're in 4th grade.
Yep.
So, don't even fucking teach it to you when you're in junior high. But anyways.
No, it's horrible.
It's horrible. So, she taught me about bathtubs and how, like, I would scooch my butt up against the, like, bathtub wall and put my legs up against the wall, and I would have the bathtub water run down, like, inside of me and on top of my clit, and it felt so good. I didn't even have to touch myself. I just let the water do all of the work. And that's where my masturbation began. But then I wasn't a really big masturbation person until actually fairly recently. I was into marital aids, like I was into vibrators and stuff like that with my spouse or boyfriend or what have you. But I was always having sex, so I didn't necessarily need to masturbate. And I can't get off with my own hand. That's not happening. And but I absolutely need a toy. Alas, all of the toys on John's desk today when he came.
There's 5 of them, folks.
There were 7.
Oh, see, my God.